We've been talking a lot about the word that starts with a C, which is calling. Excellent. What is a calling? How do you find yours? What is the calling of St. Anne's as a congregation? How do we figure out our stewardship to support that calling? And how do we move from the church that could, the church that survives, the church that perpetuates, to the church that does, that not only survives, but thrives and lives to its fullest? It was interesting the other day. I sat in on a conversation about the Vital and Thriving program that the diocese is putting on. And we are probably going to be part of that because it's really exciting, not least of which, because there's open-ended grants for new ministries and new approaches to church that might even include up to $50,000 to $70,000. So we're still discerning, as it were, but it's something that we're looking into as a church. One of the things that struck me was everything about the Vital and Thriving program are things that we have already been doing. They want us to explore, where is God leading us in Scripture? What is it that is our purpose together? How do we reimagine church in the 21st century in a different way of doing things that expands us beyond just Sunday mornings, beyond just the different committees and groups that we're involved in, but thinking about the entire spectrum of what it means to be church, but not just church, but church that is called, church that is driven, church that has a purpose that it's moving towards. It's one thing to have a lot of program. It's another thing to have a lot of program that is designed to funnel us towards what it is that we are meant to do. Now, one of the things that I've also come to appreciate in these conversations is just how overwhelmingly huge these questions are, and that it's impossible in a 4 or 5 week series of conversations to even begin to really grab hold of. And that's why I am hoping that this conversation has only begun with the stewardship campaign and will be kind of baked into how we imagine what it means to be church. Very quickly, can someone tell me the definition that I pulled from Howard Thurman about what it means to be called? It's what makes you, go ahead.
It's what makes you feel vitally alive.
Mm-hmm. What makes you feel vitally alive? His quote is, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs are people who are fully alive. It's that sense of the thing that you get up in the morning for, the thing that will drive you on when you're frustrated and burnt out or uncertain, or when negativity starts to seep into your bones and you wonder, what can you possibly do? When anxieties try to overcome the hope that we have found in God, it's that calling that makes us feel fully alive, that empowers us through grace to do more than we could ever have imagined on our own. Things that excite us, things that you can't escape. I was thinking about it the other day when I was pondering in my own head, like, what is it that is the core of everything that I hope for as a priest? And the overarching thing is, I want desperately to nurture and support a community where the people that are involved are actively engaged in their spiritual journey. They are actively engaged in the transformational power of God's love and are so fully engaged and alive in that relationship that it cannot help but shine out in the world. And each of us has that thing that we really want for our congregation together, a thing that we really want to figure out together. And overarchingly, what I've heard from you all is the story of love, of acceptance. As Timothy said once, appreciation. That sense that whenever you come here, whoever you are, wherever you are, regardless of where you sit on the fence in terms of politics, theology, culture, language, any of those things, you are beloved and welcome here as a member of the family. We're constantly seeing in the world around us marked reminders of the lack of that acceptance, the lack of that love, the lack of that appreciation. We woke up this morning to find out about the shooting at a gay bar in Colorado Springs, Colorado, again, by an AR-15, by a young man shooting people out of hate. I am tired of reading these headlines. I am tired of a world where we don't know how to nurture real manhood that doesn't involve that kind of violence and cowardice. I am tired of a world where we can't live and let love be the guiding force in our lives. That is one of the reasons why I am so grateful for who you are, for the calling that this congregation has in our own context. It's a very different one than Colorado Springs or Orlando or any other place where such a shooting or such hatred has been festered. We are not called to hate. We are not called to judge. We are called to hold ourselves first and foremost accountable and to follow our calling together. And so, as we gather in our pledges today, one of the things that excites me about this, and we already have quite a few that were mailed in early, excellent. We decided not to open them up to hand them back out because we wanted to respect your privacy. But if you hadn't mailed yours in, we're going to have an opportunity today during the offertory to bring them forward. But as we gather in your pledges to steward this congregation, I give thanks for the conversations we've been having. I give thanks for the continuation that we're going to have in terms of continuing to discern the exact calling that we have as individuals and as a congregation, so that we can be a force to be reckoned with for love in the community around us, that we can bolster the notion that when you come in these doors, you are welcome as you are, exactly as you are. And if you stay for a while, you'll change, because the love that this place provides is something that will change you. So thank you all for your stewardship of this congregation. Everything from jumping in and ushering the last minute when the current usher is sick, to replacing light bulbs, to getting on the ladder, fixing things with the wisteria or with light bulbs out there, to showing up for open mic nights, to setting up the potluck, to being treasurer for over 11 years and still doing it. Showing up when life has been very difficult. Faithfully stewarding the front office, being senior warden, being junior warden, especially in difficult times with lots of difficult upheavals. For sharing your musical gifts. For jumping on vestry when you aren't sure quite what it looks like and how to do it. Bringing your dog to church. For speaking up and having unique perspectives. For making some of the best music in church I've ever experienced in my entire career as a priest and as a person in church. Most of all, for loving God, loving your neighbor, loving yourself, and stewarding God's purpose that has been built into this community here.